this.
Amara, don't move. One step and you'll kill them too. The voice cut through the rain like a blade. I froze on the ledge, barefoot, the concrete slick beneath my toes. Seoul's skyline blurred behind sheets of water, neon signs bleeding into the darkness. My hands were shaking. No, trembling. And there was blood on them.
Whose blood?
I didn't remember climbing up here. I turned my head slowly. He stood 10 feet away, drenched, his white shirt plastered to his chest. Jun Hyuk-han, the man from the gala. The man whose bed I'd woken up in 3 weeks ago. Stay back, I whispered. He raised both hands, palms open. I'm not going to hurt you. You already did. His jaw tightened. For a moment, something flickered across his face. Guilt, maybe, or fear. He took one careful step forward. If you jump, he said quietly, you'll kill them too. My breath caught. Kill who? Our twins. Lightning split the sky. The word twins echoed in my skull, louder than the thunder. I felt my knees buckle, the world tilting sideways. His face blurred. Then I was falling backward into nothing. Before I tell you what happened, subscribe to Mystic Tale by Luna and comment where you're watching from. 48 hours earlier, I'd been standing in front of a mirror, adjusting the straps of a borrowed dress. My roommate Ji-yoon had insisted I go to the Han Corporation Gala. You need a break from the hospital rotations, she'd said. Plus, free champagne and rich people watching. I wasn't sure which part was supposed to convince me. The gallery was all glass and marble, floating above the Han River like a crystal box. Art pieces I couldn't afford to breathe near lined the walls. I stayed near the exits, sipping water, feeling the weight of every glance that lingered a second too long. Being the only black woman in a room full of Seoul's elite did that. Then I felt it, a stare that burned. I turned. He was across the room, half hidden by a sculpture. Jun Hyuk-han. I'd seen his face on business magazines in convenience stores. Billionaire. Philanthropist. Rumored mafia connections, no one dared confirm. But the photos didn't capture the intensity. The way his eyes tracked me like I was the only thing in the room worth studying. He didn't look away when I caught him staring. A woman appeared at my elbow. White silk dress, sharp cheekbones, a smile that didn't reach her eyes. You must be thirsty, she said in perfect English, offering me a champagne flute. I'm fine with water, thanks. Mr. Han personally selected this vintage. She pressed the glass into my hand. It would be rude to refuse. I glanced back toward him. He was gone. The champagne tasted like roses and something metallic underneath. I took 2 sips before the room started to tilt. The woman in white was watching me with that same empty smile. What? My tongue felt thick. What did you? The floor rushed up to meet me. I woke up to silk. Cool sheets against my bare skin. My dress was gone. My underwear was gone. Every piece of clothing I'd worn was gone. Panic hit like ice water. I sat up too fast, the room spinning. Massive bed. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Minimalist furniture that cost more than my tuition. And him. Jun Hyuk stood by the window, back to me, one hand pressed against the glass. His shirt was unbuttoned, hanging loose. His wrist was bleeding, fresh blood dripping onto the white carpet. Where are my clothes? My voice cracked. He turned slowly. His face was pale, eyes shadowed. He looked at me like I was a ghost. This wasn't supposed to happen, he said softly. Not with you.
Where are my
clothes? He moved toward the bed. I scrambled backward, pulling the sheet up. Don't touch me. I need to. You need to tell me what you did to me. I was screaming now, my throat raw. What did you do? He stopped mid-step. For a long moment, he just stared at his bleeding wrist, then at me. I don't know. You don't know? I laughed, high and jagged. You drug me, stripped me, and you don't know? I didn't drug you. His voice was flat. And I don't remember anything after midnight. Liar. Look at me. He held up both wrists. The right one was bleeding from a clean cut. The left had bruises in the shape of fingernails. My fingernails, I realized with horror. Does this look like I was in control? My stomach turned. I looked down at my own hands. Bruised knuckles. Scratches along my arms I didn't remember getting. Someone knocked on the door. Jun Hyuk's expression hardened. Not now. A man's voice muffled. Sir, the council is. I said not now. Footsteps retreated. Jun Hyuk walked to the door and locked it. The sound echoed like a gunshot. Let me leave, I said. You can leave. He moved to a closet, pulled out clothes, a black dress, flats, a coat. He set them on the bed, without looking at me. But you need to understand something first. I don't need to understand anything from you. He turned, and for the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. Real, bone-deep fear. You're in danger. We both are. The only danger I'm in is from you.
No.
He shook his head. You don't understand what happened last night. He cut himself off, jaw clenched. Just stay away from the Han estate. Don't come back. Don't look for answers. Forget this happened. I grabbed the clothes, holding the sheet against my chest. Trust me, I will. He stepped aside, giving me space to stumble toward the bathroom. I slammed the door, locked it, and sank to the cold tile floor. My reflection in the mirror looked wrong. Same face, same dark skin and coiled hair. But something about my eyes looked different. I blinked. My reflection blinked a second later. My stomach lurched. I blinked again, faster. The reflection followed, always half a beat behind. No, I whispered. No, no, no. I threw on the clothes, not caring that the dress hung loose. When I opened the bathroom door, Jun Hyuk was gone. The bedroom door was unlocked. I ran. Down marble hallways.
Past guards who didn't try to stop me.
Out into the gray morning light where a car was waiting, driver already inside, engine running. Ms. Amara, the driver said. Mr. Han arranged. I kept walking. Ms. Amara, please. It's not safe to. I broke into a run. I made it 3 blocks before my legs gave out. I collapsed against a convenience store wall, gasping, and pulled out my phone.
Dead. Of course it was dead.
A woman walking past stared at me. I realized I was crying. I found a police station 6 blocks away. Stumbled inside, makeup smeared, barefoot because I'd lost the flat somewhere. I need to report. My voice broke. I was drugged. Assaulted. I need. The officer behind the desk looked up, bored. Name of the accused? Jun Hyuk Han. His expression didn't change, but something shifted in his eyes. He glanced at his partner. They exchanged a look. Han Corporation? The partner asked. Yes. Do you have evidence? I woke up in his bed. Naked. I didn't consent to. Do you have a rape kit? Witnesses? Video evidence. My hands clenched into fists. He drugged me. I couldn't consent. Did you drink willingly? That's not. Ms. He checked a paper on his desk. This district is under Han jurisdiction. If you're making false accusations.
False.
I stepped forward. You're not even going to investigate? We'll file a report. His tone said he wouldn't. But Han Corporation employs half this district. You understand. I understood. I understood perfectly. I walked out before I did something I'd regret. 3 weeks passed in a blur of rotations, exams, and sleepless nights. I burned the black dress. Scrubbed my skin until it was raw. Changed my route to campus. But I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. And the mirror thing kept happening. Then came the nausea. I ignored it for 4 days before Jian forced me to take a pregnancy test. 2 pink lines. I stared at the stick for 10 minutes, waiting for it to change. It didn't. The hospital clinic was quiet at dawn. The doctor was a middle-aged woman with kind eyes that went cold when she read my chart. Ms. Amara, she said slowly. Have you been exposed to radiation? Chemicals?
What? No.
She turned her computer screen toward me. Your blood work shows irregularities. DNA markers I've never encountered. She leaned forward. Are you sure you're human? The question hung in the air like smoke. What kind of question? I'm ordering more tests. Don't leave the city. I left the hospital at a dead run. I made it back to my dorm, locked the door, and pressed my back against it. My hands were shaking again. Pregnant. With his child. With something the doctor couldn't identify. A shadow moved across my window. I spun around. No one was there. But when I turned back to the door, he was standing in my room. Jun Hyuk-han. In my locked dorm room. Impossible. How did you? I told you not to look for answers, he said quietly. Get out. I'm not here to hurt you. He raised his hands, just like on the rooftop I hadn't been to yet. I'm here to save you. Save me? I grabbed the closest thing, a textbook, and hurled it at him. He didn't flinch when it hit his chest. You ruined my life. I know. His voice cracked. And I'm sorry. But if you don't listen to me right now, you won't have a life left to ruin. You have 30 seconds to explain before I scream. Jun Hyuk closed his eyes briefly, like he was gathering strength. When he opened them, they looked older somehow. Exhausted. You're carrying twins, he said. But they're not just mine. They're part of something older than either of us. I grabbed my phone. I'm calling security. They won't come. I own this building. My finger hovered over the dial button. Of course you do. 400 years ago, my ancestor made a bargain. He stepped closer, moving slowly like I was a frightened animal. His clan was dying. War, famine, disease. So he went to the mountains and called on something that answered. I don't care about your family ghost stories. It's not a story. His voice sharpened. Every generation since, one woman is chosen. She bears twins during a blood moon. One child saves the bloodline. The other destroys it.
He paused.
Every moon bride dies in childbirth. Every single one. The phone slipped from my hand. You're insane. Look at your reflection. I didn't want to. I turned toward the mirror anyway. My reflection moved half a second after I did, like it was swimming through water to catch up. That's the mark, he said quietly. The curse recognizes you. This is... I press my palms against my temples. I'm hallucinating. The stress, the pregnancy hormones. You're not hallucinating. He pulled up his sleeve. His forearm was covered in symbols that hadn't been there 3 weeks ago. Angular, precise, glowing faintly silver in the dim light. I woke up with these the morning after the gala. They burn when you're near. I stared at the marks. They pulsed like a heartbeat. Why me? My voice came out small. Why not some Korean woman? Why? I don't know. He lowered his sleeve. The curse chooses. It doesn't explain. Then, unchoose me. I was shaking now, arms wrapped around myself. Break it. Fix it. I didn't ask for this. If I knew how, I would. He moved toward the door. But right now, you need to leave Seoul. Tonight. I'll arrange everything, money, documents, protection. I'm not running. You have to. He turned back, and for the first time, I saw genuine terror on his face. Because you weren't supposed to survive that night. The ritual should have killed you. And when they realize you're still alive and pregnant, he cut himself off. Who's they? He didn't answer. Just opened the door and left. I stood frozen for 10 seconds. Then I grabbed my coat and followed. The hallway was empty. I ran to the stairwell, took the steps 2 at a time. By the time I burst outside, he was already in a black car pulling away from the curb. I walked back inside, legs weak. Ji-yoon was in the lobby, arms full of textbooks. Amara? You look like death. She dropped the books on a chair. What happened? I'm pregnant. Her eyes went wide.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Is it?
The guy from the gala. The one you won't talk about? I nodded. She pulled me into a hug that smelled like jasmine and coffee. For a moment, I let myself lean into it. What do you need? She asked. I don't know. Okay, we'll figure it out. She squeezed tighter. You're not alone. But I was. Because I couldn't tell her about mirrors that moved wrong or symbols that glowed or curses that killed. She'd think I'd lost my mind. Maybe I had. That night, I dreamed of drowning. Dark water closing over my head. Voices speaking in a language I didn't know but somehow understood. A woman's scream cutting off abruptly. Then silence. I woke up gasping, sheets soaked with sweat. The clock read 3:47 a.m. My reflection in the dark window was standing perfectly still. But I was sitting up in bed. I squeezed my eyes shut and counted to 10. When I opened them, the reflection matched again. "This isn't real," I whispered. The reflection's lips didn't move. 2 days later, the whispers started. I'd be walking to class and hear my name, Amara, but no one was there. In the library, I heard someone speaking Yoruba, my mother's language, but when I turned around, the room was silent. Then came the shadows. Not normal shadows. These moved against the light, crawling along walls like living things. I'd see them in my peripheral vision, but when I looked directly, they'd vanish. June noticed me flinching at nothing. "You should see a doctor." I did. A different doctor. Maybe a therapist? I almost laughed. What would I say? I'm cursed by a Korean mafia lord's ancestral bargain, and my twins might destroy the world? On the third day, I walked back to my dorm after evening rounds and found my door unlocked. I never left it unlocked. I pushed it open slowly. The room was dark except for the streetlight glow through the window. Everything looked normal. Bed made.
Desk organized.
But the air felt wrong. Too cold, too still. I flipped the light switch. Jun Hyuk was sitting in my desk chair. Jesus. I stumbled backward into the hallway. He stood up slowly, hands visible. "We need to talk." "How do you keep getting in here?" "I told you. I own the building." "That doesn't give you the right." "I know." He stepped into the light. There were new bruises on his face, fresh cuts on his knuckles. "But they're coming for you, and I needed to make sure you understood." "Who's coming?" He crossed to the window, peered out through the blinds. "My family. The council. Everyone who knows what you are. I'm a medical student who made a terrible mistake. You're the first moon bride to survive the ritual in 200 years. He turned to face me. "That makes you either a miracle or a threat. They'll want to study you, control you, make sure the prophecy plays out the way it's supposed to." "And how's it supposed to play out?" "You die." His voice was flat. "The twins are born. One is raised by the light faction, one by the shadow. They fight. The bloodline continues." "Light faction? Shadow faction." I laughed bitterly. "You sound insane." "I know how it sounds." He moved away from the window. "But in 6 months, you'll go into labor during a blood moon. And unless we figure out why you survived, you'll die like all the others." The room felt smaller suddenly.
Airless.
"There's something else," he said quietly. "The hospital where you got your blood tested? They reported the irregularities to a research center. The center is owned by Han Corporation." My stomach dropped. "So you know." "I know your DNA is changing. I know the twins are developing faster than normal. I know." He stopped, jaw tight. "I know you're in danger from people who want to use you." "People like you?" "Yes." He didn't flinch from it. "Like me. Like my family. Like everyone who's been waiting centuries for the cycle to break. If you do the same thing, subscribe to Mystic Tale by Luna, and tell me where you're watching from." A knock on the door made us both freeze. "Amara?" Ji-yoon's voice. "You okay?" I heard shouting. Jun Hyuk moved toward the window. "I'm fine," I called. "Just watching a drama. I'll turn it down." "Okay. Let me know if you need anything." Her footsteps faded. Jun Hyuk paused at the window, one hand on the frame. "Come with me," he said. "What?" "To the estate. I can protect you there." "Your estate? Where you drugged me?" "I didn't drug you. The woman in white, she's part of the council. She performed the ritual." He gripped the window frame harder. "I was as much a victim as you were." "Victim?" I stepped closer, anger rising. "You're a billionaire with an army of guards. I'm a foreign student with no family here. We're not the same." "You're right." He looked at me then, really looked at me. "But we're bound now, whether we like it or not. I don't believe in bindings." "Then believe in this." He pulled a photograph from his jacket and handed it to me. It showed a woman in traditional Korean dress, holding 2 infants. Her face was gaunt, eyes hollow. Behind her, a man who looked exactly like Jun Hyuk stood with his hand on her shoulder. "That's my mother," he said. 3 hours before she died. I was the baby in her left arm. The woman's expression haunted me. Resigned, terrified, grieving. "Where's the other baby?" I asked. "My brother." Jun Hyuk took the photo back. "He disappeared when we were 7. The council said he ran away. But I heard him screaming in the middle of the night, and when I woke up, he was gone." "You think they killed him?" "I think they took him, raised him somewhere else, trained him." He pocketed the photo. "The shadow twin can't stay with the light twin. It corrupts the prophecy. This is medieval. This is survival." I sank onto my bed, head in my hands. 6 months. That's all I had. 6 months to figure out how to break a 400-year-old curse or die trying. "What if I run?" I asked. "Leave Korea. Go somewhere they can't find me?" "They'll find you." His voice held certainty. "The curse tracks the bloodline. They'll feel it when you go into labor." "Then what do I do?" He knelt in front of me, eye level. "You let me help you. I have resources, information, access to the old texts. We figure out why you survived. And maybe we can change what happens next." "Why would you help me?" "If the prophecy plays out, you get whatever your family wants." "Because I don't want my children to grow up the way I did." His voice cracked.
Alone.
Afraid. Waiting for the other shoe to drop. I studied his face. The bruises, the exhaustion, the fear he was trying to hide. He was a monster, maybe, but he was also terrified. "If I say yes," I said slowly, "I need answers. Real answers. No more cryptic warnings. Deal. And you don't own me. This is a partnership." "Agreed." "And if you betray me," I met his eyes, "I'll find a way to destroy you." He almost smiled. I'd expect nothing less. He stood, offered his hand. I stared at it for a long moment. Then I took it. His skin was warm, the symbols on his arm pulsing once beneath the fabric.
"There's one more thing," he said.
"Of course there is." "The estate, it's not safe anymore. Too many people watching. So, I bought a different property. Secluded. Warded. Protected by the old magic. Nothing can get in unless I allow it." He paused. "We leave in 1 hour." 1 hour? I have classes, rotations. You're already dead to them." He moved toward the door. "That's what I came to tell you. The council declared you a failed ritual. Officially, you died in a car accident 3 days ago." The room tilted. "What?" "Check your student portal. Your account's been deactivated. Your visa's been revoked. You don't exist anymore." He opened the door and left before I could respond. I grabbed my laptop, fingers shaking. He was lying. He had to be lying. But when I logged in, the screen flashed red. Account suspended. I tried my university email. Access denied. My visa portal. Status. Terminated. "No," I whispered. No. I called the registrar's office. A recorded message. "Amara Okonkwo is no longer enrolled." They'd erased me. In less than 72 hours, I'd gone from medical student to ghost. I sat on the bed, staring at the screen until the words blurred. Then I started packing. "Where are we going?" Jun Hyuk didn't answer. The car wound through Seoul's backstreets, past shuttered shops and empty playgrounds. His driver, a woman with a scar bisecting her left eyebrow, kept checking the rear-view mirror. "Someone following us?" I asked. "Always." Jun Hyuk stared out the window. "But Haewon knows how to lose them." The driver, Haewon, took a sharp left into an alley barely wide enough for the car. We emerged onto a highway heading north. An hour later, we stopped at a traditional hanok hidden behind iron gates. The house was old, wood and stone, surrounded by pine trees that whispered in the wind. "This is it." I climbed out, legs stiff. The main estate's 50 miles east. Jun Hyuk unlocked the gate. "But we're not going there." "Then why are we here?" "Because you wanted answers." He pushed the gate open. They're inside. The house smelled like cedar and something older, incense, maybe, or time itself. Jun Hyuk led me through empty rooms to a door hidden behind a bookshelf. He pressed his palm against the wood. The symbols on his arm flared bright. The door swung inward, revealing stairs descending into darkness. "You're joking," I said. "I wish I was." He started down. I followed, because what else could I do? The stairs ended in a circular chamber lit by oil lamps. The walls were covered in portraits, dozens of them, centuries old. Each showed a woman holding twins. The babies' faces were painted in detail, but in every portrait, one infant's face had been burned away, leaving only charred canvas. "These are the moon brides," Jun Hyuk said quietly. I moved closer to the nearest portrait. The woman wore Joseon-era clothing, her expression serene despite the damage to the painting. Beneath the frame, a plaque read, *Yeonhwa, 1823. Light preserved. Shadow consumed. *. What does that mean? The light twin survived to adulthood. The shadow twin died. He gestured to another portrait. Or was killed. Depends on which records you believe. I walked along the wall, studying each face. Korean women, mostly. But 3 portraits down, I stopped. The woman in the painting had dark skin. African features. She wore a hanbok, but her hair was wrapped in fabric I recognized from my grandmother's photos. "Who is she?" Jun Hyuk came to stand beside me.
Ale.
1624. She was brought to Joseon as a gift from a Portuguese trader. My ancestor was obsessed with her. When the curse chose her, he thought it was fate. What happened? She bore the twins during a blood moon. Died 3 minutes after the second birth. His voice dropped. But before she died, she spoke a prophecy in her own language.
No one understood it then.
By the time they found a translator, 40 years had passed. What did she say? That the cycle would break when a moon bride came from across the sea with her ancestors' fire in her blood. That she would bear twins of both shadow and light, and neither would consume the other. My skin prickled. You think that's me? You're Nigerian. You survived the ritual. Your blood tests show impossible markers. He turned to face me. If the prophecy's about anyone, it's you. I backed away from the portrait. I don't want to be a prophecy. None of them did. He gestured to the walls. But the curse doesn't care what we want. A plaque beneath Ao's portrait read, *light and shadow born as one. Shadow consumed the mother. Light vanished into history. Vanished. I asked. The light twin, my ancestor's son, disappeared at age 12. No records after that. Jun Hyuk moved to a table in the chamber's center, covered in old books and scrolls. Some say he ran away. Others say the shadow twin killed him before dying itself. Your family keeps terrible records. My family keeps secrets. He opened one of the books, pages crackling. But I've been searching since I was 16, trying to find a way to break the cycle before.
He stopped.
Before what? Before I became my father. He closed the book. Before I had to watch someone die because of my bloodline. The lamps flickered. I felt it then. A pulse in my belly, faint but distinct. Both twins moving at once. Jun Hyuk noticed. Are they? They're active. I pressed a hand to my stomach. More so at night. That's the curse. They're tied to the moon's phases. Of course they are. I sank into a chair that probably cost more than my education. Is there anything about me that's still normal? Your stubbornness. He almost smiled. That's all you. The lamps flickered again, longer this time. Jun Hyuk tensed. What is it? The wards are reacting to something. He moved toward the stairs. Stay here. Absolutely not. Amara. I said no. I stood. You're not leaving me alone in a creepy basement full of dead women. He opened his mouth to argue, then nodded. Stay behind me. We climbed the stairs together. The main house was dark, moonlight streaming through paper windows. Everything looked normal until I saw my shadow on the wall. It wasn't mimicking my movements. It was standing perfectly still. Jun Hyuk, I whispered. He followed my gaze, went rigid.
Don't move. Why?
What is it? A shadow walker. They're scouts for. The shadow peeled off the wall like wet paint and lunged. Jun Hyuk shoved me aside, threw his arm up. The shadow hit him like a physical thing, driving him backward. He slammed into the wall, gasping. I grabbed a lamp and hurled it. The oil splashed across the shadow, and for a moment it recoiled, hissing. Fire! Jun Hyuk shouted. They're weak against fire. I ran to the kitchen, found matches, lit a dish towel. The shadow was wrapping around Jun Hyuk's throat now, cutting off his air. I thrust the burning fabric toward it. The shadow shrieked, an inhuman sound that made my teeth ache, and retreated through the window, shattering the paper screen. Jun Hyuk collapsed, coughing. I knelt beside him. Are you hurt? I'm fine. He wasn't. There were burns on his neck where the shadow had touched him, already blistering. We need to leave.
Now.
What was that thing? A scout. Which means they know where we are. They who? My brother. He struggled to his feet. The shadow faction. Everyone who wants to make sure the prophecy plays out. He grabbed my hand and pulled me toward the back door. We burst into the garden, just as 3 more shadows emerged from the trees. Run! Jun Hyuk pushed me forward. We ran through the pines, branches whipping our faces. Behind us, the shadows gave chase, moving faster than anything human. My lungs burned. The twins pulsed in my belly, agitated. Jun Hyuk pulled me left, toward a stone well covered in moss. He yanked the cover off, revealing not water but stairs. Down. I didn't argue. We descended into darkness, Jun Hyuk pulling the cover back over us. Above, the shadows screamed. We waited in the black, breathing hard. After an eternity, the sounds faded. What is this place? I whispered. Emergency tunnel. Leads to the main estate. I thought we weren't going there. Plans change. He found my hand in the dark. Can you walk? Do I have a choice? We walked for what felt like hours through the narrow tunnel. No light. No sound except our footsteps and breathing. The twins had gone still in my belly, like they were hiding. Finally, I saw light ahead. We emerged into another chamber, this one modern, with electric lights and security monitors. Heroine was waiting, gun in hand. She lowered it when she saw us. They hit the safe house. Her voice was rough, accented. Shadow walkers, Jun Hyuk said. At least 4. The council's moving faster than we thought. She handed him a phone. You need to see this. He looked at the screen and went pale.
What?
I tried to see, but he turned away. Nothing. Don't lie to me. Not now. He handed me the phone. The screen showed a news article. Asterisk Nigerian student found dead in Han River. Suicide suspected. Asterisk. My photo stared back at me. A body had been pulled from the water that morning. Identified as me through dental records. Case closed. Have you ever felt this? Comment your experience and where you're watching from. They faked my death. My voice sounded distant. They needed you gone officially. Heywon's tone was matter-of-fact. Easier to control you if you don't exist. I need air. I stumbled toward a door. Jun Hyuk caught my arm. Amara, wait. Don't touch me. I jerked away. Just give me a minute. I found a bathroom, locked myself inside, and vomited into the sink. When I looked up, my reflection was crying. But I wasn't. Not yet. The mirror fogged over despite the cold. Words appeared in the condensation, written by an invisible hand. Remember. I wiped the mirror clean. The word reappeared. Remember who you were. I don't understand, I whispered. The lights flickered. The bathroom tilted, or maybe I did. I gripped the sink as the world dissolved into white light. I was standing in a different bathroom. Older. Candlelight instead of electricity. My hands were darker against the ceramic basin. Not my hands, but I could feel them. A woman's voice spoke Korean, but I understood. The bleeding won't stop. Another voice, male, desperate. The midwife said it would pass. She's dying, and you care more about the prophecy than her life. I turned. In the mirror, I saw not my face but Ao's. The African moon bride from 1624. Blood soaked her white hanbok. Behind her, 2 infants screamed in separate cribs.
I'm sorry, the male voice said.
But the curse must complete. Curse. Ao's voice was weak. This is murder. She collapsed. The vision shattered. I gasped back into the present on the bathroom floor. Jun Hyuk was pounding on the door. Amara. Open up. I crawled to the door, unlocked it. He burst in, saw me on the tile. What happened? I remembered. I looked up at him. Or she did.
Ao.
I saw her die. He pulled me to my feet. The curse is showing you the past. It wants you to understand. Understand what? That every moon bride before you was sacrificed. Deliberately. His grip tightened. The prophecy requires the mother's death to empower the twins. Without it, they're just children. So they let them die. They made sure they died. The rage came then, white-hot and clarifying. Your family murdered them. Yes. And you expect me to trust you?
No.
He let go of my arms. I expect you to survive. Because if you don't, I'm killing everyone responsible myself. I studied his face. The bruises were darker now, spreading. The burns on his neck wept clear fluid. He looked like a man at war with himself. Why? I asked. Why do you care? Because my mother begged me to save her. I was 7 years old, and I couldn't. His voice broke. I won't watch it happen again. The twins pulsed once, synchronized. Like they were listening. Then we need a plan, I said. A real one. Not running and hiding. Agreed. And I need to know everything. Every detail of the curse, the prophecy, the factions. I'll tell you everything I know. Starting with your brother. I stepped closer. Where is he, and what does he want? Jun Hyuk's jaw tightened. His name is Min-jae. And he wants to finish what the curse started 400 years ago. Contractions are 7 minutes apart. Haewon's voice cut through the haze of pain. I gripped the bedpost, breathing through another wave. Outside, the blood moon hung low and red, casting everything in crimson light. It's too early. Jun Hyuk paced near the window. We still have 3 weeks. The curse doesn't follow human timelines. Haewon checked her watch. 6 months to the day since the ritual. The moon decides. Another contraction ripped through me. I bit down on my scream, tasting copper. 5 months had passed since the safe house. 5 months of hiding, planning, and watching my body transform into something unrecognizable. My belly was massive, twins fighting for space. My reflection no longer lagged. It moved independently now, sometimes mouthing words I couldn't hear. The symbols on Jun Hyuk's arms had spread to his chest, glowing brighter each day. We tried everything to break the curse. Ancient texts, modern medicine, shamans who took one look at us and refused payment. Nothing worked. The midwife should be here by now, Jun Hyuk said. She's not coming. Haewon moved to the security monitors. 3 black vans just breached the outer gate. Jun Hyuk's hand went to his gun. How many? At least 20. Maybe more. Seal the room. Don't let anyone through. Haewon nodded and left. I heard the electronic locks engage, metal reinforcements sliding into place. We're trapped, I gasped between contractions. We're protected. Jun Hyuk knelt beside me. The room's warded. They can't get in without breaking through 6 inches of steel. That's comforting. It's the truth. Another contraction. Stronger. I felt something shift inside me. Not physically, but deeper. Like reality was tearing at the seams. Something's wrong, I said. What do you mean? The twins. I pressed both hands to my belly. They're fighting each other. His face went white. That's not supposed to happen until after birth. Tell them that. The room's lights flickered. Shadows pooled in the corners, darker than they should be. I heard whispers in languages I didn't know, voices layering over each other. Then the window exploded inward. Glass rained down. Jun Hyuk threw himself over me, shielding us both. When he looked up, a man stood in the wreckage. He was identical to Jun Hyuk. Same face, same build. But his eyes were empty, like looking into a cave. "Hello, brother," Min-jae said. "You've done well keeping her alive." Jun Hyuk pulled his gun. "Get out." "I don't think so." Min-jae stepped over the broken glass, unhurried. "The moon bride is in labor. The prophecy completes tonight. Over my dead body, if necessary." Min-jae tilted his head, studying me. "She's stronger than the others. I can see why the curse chose her." I tried to stand. Another contraction drove me back to my knees. "Don't touch her," Jun Hyuk warned. "I don't need to touch her." Min-jae raised his hand. The shadows in the corners came alive, writhing toward me like snakes. Jun Hyuk fired. The bullet passed through Min-jae's shoulder without leaving a mark. "Still don't understand, do you?" Min-jae smiled. "I'm not entirely here. Haven't been since they took me." "The council," Jun Hyuk breathed. "They raised me in the space between. Fed me shadow until I became it." Min-jae's form flickered, half-transparent. "Mother died birthing us. You got her love. I got her death." "That's not true." Min-jae laughed, bitter. "You felt her heartbeat. I felt it stop. We're not the same, brother. We never were." The shadows reached me. Cold seared through my legs, up my spine. I screamed. Jun Hyuk lunged at Min-jae. They collided, two identical men locked in combat. But Min-jae moved like smoke, impossible to pin down. "You can't win this," Min-jae said. "The shadow twin is mine. It always was." "There is no shadow twin." Jun Hyuk drove his elbow into Min-jae's ribs. "The prophecy's a lie to control us." "Then why is she dying?" I looked down. Blood pooled beneath me. Too much blood. The contractions were constant now, no breaks between. My vision blurred. "Amara?" Jun Hyuk broke away from Min-jae, caught me as I collapsed. "Stay with me." "Can't," I whispered. "It's taking me." "What is?" "The curse. I can feel it. It wants," I gasped. "It wants me gone so the twins can be weapons."
No.
He pressed his forehead to mine. "You're stronger than it. You survived once. You can survive again." Min-jae stood over us, expression unreadable. "She's right. The mother's death powers the prophecy. Without it, the twins are ordinary children." "Then let them be ordinary," Jun Hyuk said. "That's not how this works." A voice spoke inside my head, clear, distinct, female. "Asterisk, let me out, mother. I'll protect you. Asterisk." Another voice, male, younger. "Asterisk, don't listen to her. She'll consume everything. Asterisk." "They're talking to me?" I gasped. Jun Hyuk's eyes widened. "The twins. They're conscious. Awake. They're..." I screamed as my water broke. "They're coming now." The room shook. Cracks spiderwebbed across the walls. The blood moon's light intensified, turning everything crimson. "You need to push," Jun Hyuk said. "I can't." "You can." He gripped my hand. "I'm here. I'm not leaving." Min-jae watched from the corner. How touching. The monster playing midwife. "Shut up," I snarled and pushed. Pain like nothing I'd ever felt. Like being torn in half from the inside. The female voice in my head grew louder. "Asterisk, almost there, mother. Almost free. Asterisk." Another push. I felt something crown, then slip back. "Something's wrong," I panted. "She's stuck." Jun Hyuk looked. His face went pale. The cords wrapped around her neck. "Fix it." "I don't know how." Min-jae moved closer. "Let me." "I'm a doctor. Was, before they took me." Min-jae knelt beside us. "Let me help or she dies." Jun Hyuk looked at me. I nodded, too weak to argue. Min-jae's hands were cold but precise. He reached inside me. I felt shadow magic mixing with something else, something warm. The cord loosened. "Now push," he said. I pushed with everything left. The first twin slid free into Min-jae's waiting hands. A girl. Tiny, perfect, covered in blood and birth matter. Her eyes opened, pure gold, like sunlight through honey. She didn't cry, just stared at me with those impossible eyes. One more, Jun-hyuk said. The boy's coming. The male voice in my head. Asterisk, I'm afraid, mother. What if I hurt you? Asterisk. You won't, I whispered. I won't let you. Another push. Easier this time. The second twin emerged, and Jun-hyuk caught him.
A boy.
Smaller than his sister, darker. His eyes opened, black as void, like staring into space between stars. But when he looked at me, he smiled. The monitor's alarm shrieked. I looked at the screen. 2 flat lines where the twins' heartbeats should be. They're not breathing, Jun-hyuk said. Min-jae laid the girl on my chest. Jun-hyuk placed the boy beside her. Both twins lay still, not breathing, heart silent. No, I whispered.
No, please.
I pressed my hands to their chests. The symbols on Jun-hyuk's arms blazed white-hot. Min-jae's shadows coiled around us all like a cocoon. I felt it then, the curse trying to complete, trying to take my life to empower the twins. But something else pushed back. The memory of Ao, of every moon bride who died. They rose inside me like a tide. Not this time, their voices whispered as one. This time, she lives. Light and shadow exploded from my hands. The twins gasped simultaneously, lungs filling with air. Their hearts started beating, not in opposition but in sync. The girl's golden eyes flickered with shadow. The boy's black eyes sparked with light. They were both light and shadow, impossibly mixed. The blood moon outside shattered, like glass. Reality itself seemed to fracture, then reform. When I blinked, the room looked different, brighter, clearer, like waking from a nightmare. The curse was broken. Min-jae stumbled backward, his form solidifying. For the first time, he looked solid, real. What did you do? I survived. I held my twins close. They were breathing now, crying alive. We all did. Jun-hyuk's symbols faded from his arms, leaving only faint scars. He stared at his hands like he'd never seen them before. It's over, he breathed. Not quite. I stood on shaking legs, twins in my arms. Blood still poured from me, but slower now. Survivable. Your brother. What happens to him? Min-jae looked at Jun-hyuk, expression raw. I don't know. I've been shadow for so long, I don't remember being human. Then learn again. I met his eyes. You helped deliver them. That counts for something. Heroine burst through the door, gun raised. She saw the scene, the twins, the brothers, the broken window, and lowered her weapon. The council's retreating, she said. They felt the curse break. Good. I turned to the window. My reflection in the remaining shards moved with me now, perfectly synchronized. Let them run. Jun-hyuk moved to my side. What will you do now? Disappear. I looked at the twins. The girl had wrapped her tiny hand around the boys. Both slept peacefully. They're hunting us for nothing now. Just children. The council won't believe that. Then we make them. I faced both brothers. Or you do. Use your power. Your connections. Convince them the prophecy's dead. And if they don't believe us? Min-jae asked. Then I'll come back. I shifted the twins in my arms. And I'll burn their world down. The threat hung in the air. Jun-hyuk almost smiled. Where will you go? Somewhere they'll never think to look. I moved toward the door. Home. Nigeria? Lagos. Where Ao came from. I paused at the threshold. Where this all started. Let me come with you, Jun-hyuk said.
No.
Amara. You have work to do here. Dismantling the council. Freeing the others trapped by this curse. I met his eyes. And I need to do this alone. He nodded slowly, understanding written across his face. Min-jae stepped forward. Thank you. For not killing me when you had the chance. Thank me by being better than what they made you. I walked out with my twins, Heroine following. Behind me, I heard Jun Hyuk whisper, "Goodbye, Moon Bride." But I wasn't the Moon Bride anymore. I was just Amara. Just a mother. Just free. 6 months later, I stood on a Lagos beach watching my twins play in the sand. The girls' laughter was pure light. The boys' smile held comfortable shadows. A raven landed nearby, symbol carved into its wing. A message from Seoul. I opened the attached note. Asterisk council disbanded. Curse text destroyed. Min Jae learning to be human. I think about you every day. J asterisk. I burned the note and scattered the ashes. The twins looked up at me, one with gold eyes, one with black, and smiled. Mama, they said together. I'm here, I answered. And I was.